A Bears fan, a Steelers fan, and a Packers fan are climbing a mountain together. On the way up, they start talking about who loves their team the most. The Steelers fan says, "I'm the most loyal." He says, "This is for the Steelers," and jumps off the mountain to his death. The Bears fan, not to be outdone, says next that he's the most loyal. He says, "I love the Bears, this is for the Bears," and he throws the Packer fan off the side of the mountain. That pretty much sums up what the rivalry is all about.
Let me tell you a little story. The other day, Bears practice was delayed for a couple hours. They found some white powdery substance on the field. They called the cops, FBI, but after investigation, they just found out it was just the goal line. They didn't think the Bears would ever cross it again, so it was all good.
The story of the great rivalry begins in 1924 when the Bears' Frank Haney and the Packers' Walter Voss got into a little verbal exchange. One thing may have led to another, maybe some fists were thrown. Whatever the case may be, they became the first two players to be ejected from a football game. The rest is history.
No. 1921. Bears-Packers, very first game ever. John Taylor sucker punched Howard Buck directly in the face. Broke his nose. And that is the beginning of the long and bitter rivalry that we all love today.
Sunday's game is huge. Bigger than the Super Bowl, huge. People are saying, "Oh yeah, well the Packers won the last game of the season." Whatever. Bears had nothing to play for. We were already in first place. It's not like, we were going to lose that or something. We won it. And look at it historically. Bears 92, Packers 83.
Please. It's about to be 84 wins for the Packers.
And who won the last championship the Bears and the Packers played against each other in? 1941, the Bears. 34, the Packers. 24.
Pearl Harbor happened the week before. I'm sure more important things are on people's minds. Anyway, who has more Super Bowl titles? The Pack?
Packer fans seem to believe that just because they may have one or two more Super Bowl titles than the Bears, that they have a better team. Well, the fact of the matter is, they don't. The first time, the second time, and the third time the Packers played the Bears, they didn't score anything. It took them till Game 4. That's right, Game 4 score. What does that tell you? Besides, who has the greatest team in NFL history? 1985 Bears.
All they talk about is that one season. Chicago forgets about the 72 Dolphins. Dan Marino didn't have a problem with them that season.
But the Packers sure lost that season.
Who won Super Bowl 1, 2, and 31? Packers.
Stop any football fan at the side of the street and ask them, "Hey, who do you think the greatest football player of all time was?" Every single time it will be the same name. It's not going to be Brett Favre. It's not going to be Bart Starr. It's going to be Walter Payton, the greatest football player ever.
Who's the greatest football player ever? Don Hudson. Hands down. Ask anyone.
No, he means Brett Favre, and we all know who ended Brett Favre's career. Yeah, and for real this time.
That name no longer has any meaning. Aaron Rodgers.
How did the Super Bowl trophy get its name? I don't know. My guess is that someone was drunk, or the Bears lost a coin toss.
The real problem with the Lombardi Trophy is they want to name it the Lambeau Trophy. They thought it was a little bit tacky to name it after a god, so they just settled for the other guy.
No, the reason they didn't call it the Lambeau Trophy is because no one can take the name Curly seriously. The Curly Lambeau Trophy? Please.
His name was Earl!
Hi, my name is Earl. It only works if you have a mustache.
They decided to name the stadium after the god, Lambeau Field. They didn't need a city. The city was built around him.
Who has the better field? Hands down, Soldier Field is the better field. Say Soldier Field. Soldier Field. Sounds tough, doesn't it? Now say Lambeau Field. Lambeau Field. Curly Lambeau Field. You just can't take it seriously.
His name was Earl!
When G.I. Joe needs help, they're not calling the Packers. They're calling the Bears.
This is the exact same thing.
Let's talk Bears in Hollywood, okay? Ditka in Kicking and Screaming was Oscar worthy. Where was the nomination? Remember Dick Butkus in Sleepy Hollow? Great movie, scary. Not to mention that Butkus did Taxi, My Two Dads, Growing Pains, The Love Boat, and Fantasy Island. I don't know about you, but when Ricardo Montalban asked Dick Butkus, "Tell me your fantasy," I got a little closer to the TV. I want to know the answer to that question. Not to mention Brian's Song, which is the only movie that it is socially acceptable for a man to cry at.
Well, a little-known actor named Robert De Niro Maybe you've heard of him, is about to play Lombardi in a major motion picture. So whatever.
What's the greatest music video ever? Super Bowl Shuffle.
Cheese can represent that video.
You know why I fell in love with my wife? Let me tell you. She had the passion of Walter Payton, the strength of Dick Butkus, and the wisdom of Mike Ditka. You give me a better compliment to anyone than that.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Let's talk great players here. Tell me a Packer player who was better than Doug Atkins.
Antonio Freeman.
Dan Hampton.
Bart Starr.
Mike Singletary.
Paul Hornung.
Gale Sayers.
Ray Nitschke.
Sid Luckman.
Sterling Sharp.
Clyde Turner.
Don Hudson.
Brett Favre. I don't think anyone's going to say that sounds good anymore.
Yeah, got me there.
Sure, you can't deny that Brett Favre was once a great quarterback. And sure, he's going to make the Hall of Fame. But he's going to be the first player in Hall of Fame history to have hands with his bust. And those hands will be holding a little phone that's texting. That's right, they're going to put him next to OJ too.
What do the Bears and Billy Graham have in common? They can both make a stadium yell, Jesus Christ!
No, I don't hate Packer fans. I just dislike them a lot during the winter. See, I'm a Brewers fan as well, and most Brewers fans are Packer fans, so in the spring, the summertime, we all get along. We're all rooting for the same team, but once fall starts, it's all downhill from there.
Sorry, I'm a Cubs fan.
Son of a bitch.
What's the difference between the Bears and the Taliban? The Taliban have a running game.
My prediction? Let me be a little conservative here. I'm going to say it's a repeat of the 1941 championship game. Bears win 97-3 though this time. They then go and re-record the Super Bowl Shuffle and play the Steelers in the Super Bowl, where in Dallas they are victorious.
When they lose on Sunday, it's going to be unbearable.